Dopamine is the reason why most men stay weak, because it makes you crave things that destroy your focus, discipline, and body. But the thing that most people don't understand is dopamine isn't the enemy. The enemy is letting dopamine control you. Because if you learn how to control your dopamine, you can literally achieve anything in life. It's that powerful, guys. And in this video, I'm going to teach you how to control your dopamine. But before I do that, first, I'm going to explain to you how dopamine works. To keep things very simple, dopamine is just a chemical that drives one thing. And a lot of people misinterpret it because people think it's about joy and about happiness, but that's not it. It's literally a chemical that drives one thing. And originally, it's a reward system. It is a system that evolutionarily is created to reward effort. So, for example, hunting and killing an animal and getting food, or finding a shelter, or winning a fight with someone. It's just a reward system to make us do hard things, and at the end of those things, get a reward. But the thing is, times have changed, and a lot of big companies and other parties, they have found ways to exploit this system. They found a way to manipulate the system and give you cheap shots of dopamine without having to do any effort for it. And that's where it gets dangerous, guys, because those cheap shots, they will make you addicted. Because how it works, normally we did some effort, and at the end of that effort, we got a reward. But now we don't have to do effort to get a reward. And because of that, we don't want to take effort anymore, because we can just get the same reward without the effort. And realistically, the rewards we get with these dopamine systems are way stronger because they are artificial. So we can't compete with those rewards. And the danger of that is that every spike drops your baseline and raises your threshold. So what that means, I have here a graph. You can see it, guys. And there are two types of dopamine release: the cheap one and the earned one. And as you can see, the cheap one, it just skyrockets high to an artificial level that you feel very good. And after that, it plummets to underneath your base level. So after that first dopamine shot, you just feel empty. You don't feel motivated anymore, and you just don't feel like doing anything. While in the other way, the earned dopamine, let's say, for example, hitting a workout and completing it, the dopamine curve is way longer. So you're enjoying your dopamine for a way longer time. And as you can see, and this is the most important part, the dip is very small. And that baseline, what I'm talking about, is just your normal level. Everything above that baseline feels rewarding, and everything below it doesn't feel rewarding anymore. And we just need some kind of reward to take action. Without reward, we don't take action. And when the threshold just keeps going up and up, we need more stimuli to get the same reward. And the moment you basically get that threshold too high, you just can't get the normal dopamine anymore. As you see, it doesn't get as high as the cheap dopamine. So at a certain point, you can only get that cheap dopamine, and you just can't do any hard stuff anymore. And not only will you waste time this way, you will also make yourself weaker. So to summarize this, every spike drops your baseline, so you feel worse in general, and it raises the threshold. So that means you need more stimuli for the same dopamine release. So what happens if you master dopamine? As we discussed before, cheap dopamine, it will literally destroy you because you don't need to put in effort anymore to get the same dopamine release. So your body just gets lazy. Your body just wants to find the way of least resistance because we all want comfort. So it's just a negative feedback loop. You get some cheap dopamine, you get a spike, then that spike fades away. You feel bad, you feel bored, you feel just unfulfilled, and you need another spike to feel good again. And you do the same again, and you do it over and over again, and that baseline will lower and lower, and that threshold, it will get higher and higher, and at a certain point, you only can watch talking head videos with Subway surfers underneath, otherwise you just can't watch it. Controlled dopamine can also be a weapon, because if you master this system, you will get energy from doing hard stuff. So what it basically means is you can just work on yourself, develop new skills, go to the gym, start a business, learn new skills, learn a new language, and you get energy from that, and you can just keep doing it. because your baseline is so low that these things are just fun for you. And for most people, they just can't enjoy them anymore because the stimuli is too weak. So what we want to change that cheap dopamine for the controlled dopamine. So basically it's all about the late gratification. And I know that I have talked a lot about this already, but it's just one of the fundamentals you need to master to get success in life. So you will get addicted to the process of improving, the process of getting a better physique, the process of learning new skills, the process of making more money. You will be addicted to that instead of the cheap dopamine of scrolling, watching porn, eating junk food and stuff. And guys, I know it because I've lived both lives. There were certain points in my life that I couldn't even watch a movie without scrolling on my cell phone on social media. It was this bad. And I'm not ashamed of it because I know like literally all of you guys that watch this are doing the same. And that's the ultimate sign that your dopamine system is fucked. So you really need to pay attention about the next slide because that will reset your dopamine system to a normal base level again. Step 1, reset our baseline. And this is the hardest part. This part, I'm not gonna lie, this literally sucks because we need to accept boredom. If we want to reset our baseline, we literally need to get bored as hell. That's literally what we need to do because being bored for a very long time lowers our baseline again. And we do that by implementing a dopamine detox. Like, I'm not a master at this or something, but what we can do just for one day, don't use social media, don't scroll, don't watch movies, don't watch YouTube, don't listen to music. You don't want any stimuli. You can read a book. You can listen to a podcast, for example. You can walk outside. You can meditate. You can journal. You can do a lot of things, but don't get easy dopamine. It's just one day, guys. You will miss nothing, okay? Don't text. Don't social media. Don't chill with friends. Also not. Just be bored. For one day of your life, guys, be bored. You will thank me later, okay? So we need to accept boredom. If you're bored, you're doing good. Be more bored because the more bored you get, the lower that threshold and that baseline will be. And you will enjoy little things. Because trust me, you probably haven't been really bored for like an hour like the past 10, 20 years because we don't need to anymore. The moment you're in the waiting line, the first thing you do is get that phone and scroll. We don't want that, okay? Like, be bored. Once we did it for one day, we're bored as hell, our baseline reset it, we need to redesign our environment. And what that means is we don't want to fall back. So we don't want to be lured into cheap dopamine again. So what we do is once we go to the gym or once we just work on our goals, can be everything, can be school, can be work, can be business, can be gym. Once we do those things, we don't want our phone near us. So don't take your phone to the gym. Don't have your phone in your room when you're working. Those things, because we don't want to be distracted by our phone. Because it's so in our nature now to grab our phone once we're bored that we don't want that phone near us. Because if that phone is near us, we will use it. Once we've done that, so our environment is safe, there's no phone near us, we reset our baseline, we will replace that cheap dopamine with real hard work effort dopamine. So like I said, going to the gym, working on your business and stuff, because at this point we will get enjoyment of working on these things. And the last step is start your day right. The first 3 hours of your day, no phone. Trust me, guys, because once we start our day right, we have the first block of our day to work on hard stuff. And once you started your day with hard stuff, like everything else will be easy. But if you start your day with easy stuff like scrolling, getting easy dopamine, watching movies, listening to music, like that threshold will raise, our baseline will drop, and we're just less capable of doing hard stuff. So it's really important to start your day right, because if you start your day right, you can just keep your focus, and it's okay if you just lag in the evening. You scroll, you watch some videos, it's okay, as long as you start your day right, because then you are able to do hard stuff during the day. And once you're done with everything, you can chill. But once you start with the easy stuff at the start of your day, like, you won't do the hard shit. Trust me. So the final thoughts, guys. Most men are slaves to dopamine. Successful people, you will use dopamine as a weapon. So you need to learn how to use it to your advantage and you will become unstoppable. Thank you for watching and I will see you next time. Ciao.